Well, after Sauber, surprisingly enough, in the standings came Lotus in 2014, which was extremely surprising for me. Because I mean, in 2013, at least at the end of the season, they had the second fastest car. Did Lotus? I mean, they were the only ones up on the podium. It felt like towards the end of the 2013 season. They did lose James Allison, obviously, to Ferrari, and I think he was a big part of the strength of that 2013 Lotus. So I think maybe that hurt a lot. But obviously, the Renault power plant in 2014 really didn't help at all. I mean, but they were getting beaten by other teams that had Renault power plants as well. So that doesn't quantify everything. But they've got a Mercedes engine this year, and it does seem to be running better. From what I've heard, both of the drivers have been giving pretty good feedback about it. So hopefully it's a little bit more drivable car. I mean, do you think Lotus is gonna retake the spot that Force India took, that kind of sixth place in the middle area? Do you guys see Lotus back up in there?
Let's not forget the utter inner turmoil that Lotus were under. They had no money. They were, really spending a lot more than they had. Their team principal left. A lot of their staff left, and it was a pretty horrific time to be at the Lotus team last year. I think that was the biggest thing. But also a team like Lotus, is a good team, and they're back into stable, financial grounds and stuff. And yes,
Hmm.
granted, probably with a much lesser budget, but still
Hmm.
stable nonetheless. So I think they'll definitely bounce back. There was a couple of teams that didn't perform great last year. So I think it would take them a while to get back to the end of 2013 form, but I think they will do it eventually. But this year I'm expecting, to be, like you said, to be solid midfield, like solid upper midfield. I would say straight away.
Safe to say they'll score points.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
A good amount of points.
yeah. Be consistently either in the points or knocking at the door of points. I think like right there. Whereas last year it was only the odd time they were in the points, wasn't it? Really.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Very rare actually. Last year, I think only a handful of times out of the 19 races. I think. And
Plus
only
also
one of
they've
those
got
was Maldonado. It was all Grosjean, basically.
yeah, well, I was just gonna say, yeah. Plus they've got Roman Grosjean, who everyone very much rated at the end of 2013. Everyone sort of
Mhm.
forgotten about him purely because he's not up the front. It's amazing how quickly you forget about a driver when he's not in
Mhm.
in a competitive car and on TV. But we learned in 2013 that he is a really great driver, and
Mhm.
I think he improved a lot last year, but you didn't really see it. He said at the beginning of this season that he learned a lot last year.
Mhm.
Because it was a really troublesome car, and he was trying to drive it like the 2013 car, and that's just not how these cars work. You drive it very differently. So I think he learned a lot last year. So I think he'd be better. And well, Maldonado, I mean, he pays the bills, I suppose.
Is this the part of the Boxcast where you plug your website?
No, I'm not doing that. That's not
No?
happening because he hasn't crashed in too long. It's not happening.
He hasn't crashed since you put the website up. So
Yeah.
since Alex put up the website hasmaldonadocrashedtoday.com, is that what it is, right?
Yeah, 143 days ago he last crashed.
Yep.
It's telling me
Since the website has gone up, not crashed once.
Literally,
So,
it was Singapore he last crashed because I remember it because I thought, right, he's crashed loads of season. I'm gonna make a website. It'll be funny. Had the website within a week of a Singapore crash, so within 7 days. It was less than 7 days when I started it.
It was
counted
pretty
all the way up
quick.
to 143. Oh, I can't believe it. He will crash this year, though, surely. He has to.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, it's guaranteed for sure. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I expect you're right about that. I don't think we're gonna see. I mean, he's publicly said that he's not gonna change his driving style in any way. I mean, which seems like a really poor approach to Formula One racing, to come out and say like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna change. I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing, and regardless of the results, I'm just gonna keep doing exactly that.
You know what?
Obviously.
I think Hamilton said that a few years ago. Was it 2011 when he was having all those spats with Massa?
Mhm.
I think it's 2011. And he said that, but like he's a world champion. He's known as one of the fastest drivers in the sport. He's already won a world championship, so he can kind of say that I'm not going to change. Like sod the FIA, I'm not changing. Where Maldonado hasn't really got any ground to say that. Yeah, all right, he's won a race, which was an impressive race, it must be said. And he has got talent. He's not horrific, but I don't think anyone doubts that he wouldn't be on the grid if he didn't pay his way. I don't think there's any doubt about that. There's so much better talent to be had. So it's difficult, but he's not as bad as people make out. He's just become the butt of so many jokes.
Right.
Which is, but like I said, that is his own doing. If he wanted to fix that, he could.
Exactly. It's his own fault. I mean, really, at this point, it really is his own fault. But yeah, you're right. It is a little bit unfair at points. I mean, it's not like he's the worst driver in the world.
I mean, you just got to look at Romain Grosjean, haven't you? I mean, he had that horrible year where he was crashing into everything, and he had the exact same treatment Maldonado did, didn't he? And everyone was like, "Oh, look out, he's going to crash," and you know, exact same thing. And he came out and said, just opposite to Maldonado, like, "Look, I'm going to change. I don't want to crash. I'm going to change this," and then sorted it out, and now he became that amazing driver he was in 2013. So it is possible to turn it around. Maldonado's just I mean, I don't like his attitude towards it at all. Like I said, it's very bullish, unnecessarily, considering his skill level.
yeah. I mean, he's good. He's not amazing for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've made it to F1 even as a pay driver, because if I had $40 million, I don't think a team would take me purely because I wouldn't even be able to hit the 107% rule.
Yeah,
my weekend would end on Saturday, so what's the point?
Yeah.
So to have somebody who can at least get the car into the points when he decides he feels like it, obviously that's pretty attractive for somebody to have a lot of money and some talent as well. Which I kind of, just to go back to Sauber, I kind of feel like that's kind of how Nasser is. I'm kind of hoping that he's like a Pastor Maldonado without all the crashing. He's got a good amount of talent. He's brought the sponsorship. He's kind of saving Sauber. But yeah, Maldonado, I don't expect a huge change from. Grosjean, I'm hoping that this will be a big year for him, like 2013. Grosjean's really grown on me because of 2013. He's really matured as a driver, which I'm just kind of restating what we've already said, but hopefully this will be a much stronger season for them. I'd kind of like to see Grosjean go to Ferrari at some point eventually.
But also, everyone loves a happy ending, don't they? And everyone loves a turnaround, a happy ending, which is exactly what Grosjean is, and that's why he's got so many fans. Like, yeah, he seems like a nice guy as well, but from going from being getting banned from a race because of his dangerous driving to being one of the best drivers, everyone loves a story like that. So I think he's got a lot of fans, and because of that, whereas Maldonado's the complete opposite, so that's why nobody likes him. I mean, maybe that's a bit harsh, but you know what I mean. That's why he's the butt of jokes, because whereas you wouldn't, if Grosjean crashed even the first two races of next season, you wouldn't think, oh, he's back, or whatever, like you would with Maldonado. It's just such a different attitude. So yeah.